Welcome to Jerkin Around, a podcast about Teisha.
All about me. Today, what did we talk about? I can't remember.
We talked about Teisha having kids with a younger man like Montana from Montana Boys. Well, his name's Mark, but Kristin Cavallari calls him Montana.
Yeah. I'm not having one, but...
You are with the big smile.
Not opposed, no, I'm just kidding. This is horrible. I sound like a horrible person. I love Ben. I'm never dating anyone else. If he dies, I'm alone.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
She can't. But my tubes are tied, so I'm never having any kids.
She would adopt for the new guy.
Oh my God, this is horrible.
Yeah, we talked about healthy habits.
Healthy habits.
And Teisha...
Parenting.
Taking it in college.
Oh my gosh, you.
No, you.
Your knee surgery.
Yeah.
All right, have a listen. Do I say anything?
Oh my God, we're just being normal.
Oh, jerking around.
Do you want to get your headphones? We'll nail
Crystal takes her shirt off. Stick around. Should we say it at the same time?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Jerkin Around, a podcast with Teisha and Crystal.
Vanderpump's just, we're talking about Vanderpump Rules. If you watch it, it's stupid. I really think it's boring this season.
Well, I hadn't watched it for years. Then I watched it when the scandal happened. So now I was like, oh,
What's sad about that is like it won Grammys.
Yeah.
For
and like
being so entertaining.
But it like hurt someone so horribly.
What bothers me though, have you watched The Valley yet?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
It's so good. It's so good because...
I don't understand how they're separated, but they have a podcast together and they have a house together.
They're together because they recorded it.
Oh, okay.
A year ago.
Yeah.
So they're together in it. And like...
Is it bad though? Like you could tell they're going to break up?
No. It's stupid. She supposedly left him because he didn't want to have Whoopi with her.
Really?
Yeah, but like if you're not acting right, he doesn't want to have Whoopi with you. Or he's cheating. I don't know.
I feel like he's cheating probably.
For a guy, they're gonna...
Yeah, I'm like, I don't act right all the time and Ben always wants to do it.
Always.
Yeah, but you like... keep yourself together.
Oh, it's not?
I don't know.
Yeah. I know.
I don't think you have to be fit to keep yourself together. No. Like,
Yes.
I think it's a matter of like still dressing up, going to dinner, like still...
Oh, she's not doing that?
I don't know. It just, I actually really like Jackson this season. He's my favorite.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a good dad. He's the leader of the group. He's telling everyone off.
Yeah.
Like, get your life together. Like,
Yeah.
your family's most important. Like, so I feel like she's more getting lost. She's easily like pushed around. Jax does stupid things, but he's always been like that.
Yeah.
He like pulls someone's pant down at like the barbecue, and the girls whose husband it was is crying because his wee-wee came out in front of all of his friends. But I was like, why are you so upset about
that
it?
was
Like,
I was like, is it really small or something?
Or does it like, is it not,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, if someone saw Kyle's, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's fine.
That's like a locker room.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Around all
deal
your
is.
good friends, like, I don't think the girls were going.
Yeah.
I don't think like it was a big deal at all, and she was hysterical. How could he
Ben's
do
doing the
this?
mangina. I mean,
I don't think it's weird. It was like at a barbecue, and he didn't know they're like, he had a swimsuit on, and he's like, so Brittany's like, I'm sorry, Drax, But it's like interesting because it's families and kids and marriage. Like it's more interesting than
than the
like I don't
going
think Vanderpump's relatable. I think they're pretending to make something. Go to Sir.
Yeah.
These people all have kids. They don't want to go to Sir.
It's so dumb.
So Valley's way better now
it? Oh,
than
yeah.
Vanderpump.
Yeah.
But it is annoying about Ariana. Like Lala, I love Lala. I think she's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh.
And like she's the only one that says what I'm thinking.
Yeah, every time.
And she's like, I don't know why Ariana is God because she got cheated on.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to, but it's kind of true. Like Stassi got cheated on by her best friend and her boyfriend. Like it's just as bad. It's the exact same thing. No one cares.
Yeah.
They're still filming with Jackson.
Yeah.
They were like, too bad, Stassi.
Yeah, they like went on Jax's side, remember?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're all on a trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one was like giving her Dancing with
They
the
didn't
Stars.
even believe her. Yeah.
And Sheena's crying because she's always wanted Dancing with the Stars. Like, it's funny.
Wait.
This is the problem of the episode.
Wait, Sheena wanted it and Ariana got it?
Yeah, and so she was devastated.
Sheena bugs, though.
Oh, Sheena's always bugged. And then Sheena kissed Schwartz years ago.
Oh, really?
In Vegas. So everyone's mad about the cheating scandal, but Sheena kissed Schwartz years ago. Like, it's so bad.
When he was with Katie?
Yes.
What?
Never knew till now. So Lala's like, you're all freaks. I'm out of here. This is just whacked. I love Lala. And she's like friends with Tom, and I get it. Like, be friends with Tom. It's boring if you all don't film with him. He cheated.
Yeah.
It's like, the whole world crucified him. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying what he did was right or wrong, but like it's over.
Yeah.
It's so stupid they live together. Ariana's like whack. I get it, you were together 10 years, but like you got to notice they weren't sleeping together as well. They like were never together. Like it wasn't like
There's more going on.
Yeah.
Before and
Yeah.
cheating.
yeah. Eat a cheeseburger first of all. She's taken Ozempic to another level.
Yeah, and then she was like, she's afraid to leave the baby.
Oh, it's so
like,
stupid.
Oh my
Lala's
gosh.
like the best. So the Valley's way better.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
I'll
it's
give
so
it a watch.
good.
Yeah, because I was struggling with the Vanderpump. I'm like,
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
But Kristin Cavallari, I've been listening to her podcast actually because my cousin said it was good. And it's good, but like everything that's wrong with the world all in one. This last episode, she did this drug called Provo. No, Provo's where Paris went. Bufo. You're probably going to look it up.
I will.
But your phone's being used, huh?
I'll use it. I'll look it up later.
Yeah. Bufo.
it's probably nothing like that. Yeah.
Here, Dana. Okay. It's the name of her podcast that week. So she talks about dating Montana, she calls him.
Yeah.
And it's cute. It made me like him
I'm
more.
actually liking them more.
She said she feels safe with
He's
him.
so cute.
Yeah, he is really cute. But she had the Montana boys on her podcast.
Yeah.
And she was like, I wrote these questions when I first was interviewing you before we were dating. So she's like, I decided I'm not going to change them. And it was really interesting.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to I think he doesn't know he's using her.
Who?
Montana.
Get some
Yeah.
momentum.
Famous?
Yeah.
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 I don't think he's meaning to. I think she's very pretty and like sassy. He likes all that.
Yeah.
So
But-
it's like beneficial in more ways than one.
Yeah, and like he's adorable and she's using him for the same. But they seem like cute. Like he talks to her boys, they text all day. He goes and plays basketball with her boys. She said she manifested a guy that would play with her boys. So when they were playing basketball outside, her manifest came true. So I'm fine with like envision things, go for him. But like pray on him. And like there's this thing called God. So
Yeah.
she talks about like reincarnation. This Bufo. It's coming up. Tears streaming down my face. This episode, Bufo, B-U-F-O.
Okay.
What is it?
It's like a hallucinogen, it sounds like. Okay, Bufo is the genius of true toads and the amphetamine of Budafone. Bufo, I don't know. Dana, you're a better Googler. I should give you my phone.
That's fine.
So it's like mushroom, like she compared it. I've done mushrooms, I've done drugs, I've done all these things, but she was really scared to do Bufo. So it's like that, it's like a meditation drug.
Yeah.
So there's Bufo or another one. The other one lasts for 8 hours. Bufo lasts for 20 minutes.
Okay.
So
Oh my
they like,
God.
it's like,
Way better than 8 hours. That sounds horrible.
yeah. And I don't like being drunk. I don't like being high.
Oh, that sounds
So like
awful.
all of this sounded like so scary to me. I would
Yeah, and why
absolutely,
would you take a drug?
because it's a spiritual awakening.
Like enlightening. Yeah.
You became one with the universe.
You didn't. You were hallucinating.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so
Oh,
weird.
There's a bug.
I saw it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know.
And see it.
You know why? It's because my door jams are dirty.
Let me clean them. But anyway,
Why
so
is there a
she
bug
took
in my
this
hair?
stuff, and what happened when
Is
she
that
took
weird
it?
though? Do you
No,
think, like,
but I need to know what happened when she took this stuff.
she hallucinated and started, okay, so it's like a whole retreat. I'm so bothered. Do you think there's another one?
No.
Okay.
I think it was just
What do you have, like fleas?
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'm like,
Maybe I need to worry about my door jams more.
yeah.
There's bugs in my hair. Okay, so they go to this. That's how
It's
it got
just
in
like
there.
a little,
I know, I don't want it
fruit fly.
in my
a
hair.
nap.
yeah.
So they go to this retreat and they can only eat fruit. Like, because it's like a detox.
Yeah.
In Mexico, in Cabo. She talked about all her Cabo memories. Thank you, Dana. So anyways, you go eat all this fruit, and then you go on these hikes, and then you have Bufo.
Yeah.
So they're out there with the gong, and
Yeah.
you do this meditation. So she went first. And like all of a sudden, she's somewhere else, and then it begins. And she was like, oh,
It sounds like ayahuasca, kind of. Does that
ayahuasca's a
Okay.
8-hour one.
Yes.
Because she said ayahuasca.
It's like a tribal journey. Like you have like a shaman who walks you.
Yeah,
through.
shaman
It's like-
was there, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's different.
So she became one with the universe and like was like crying and like out of it, and they were like, breathe, and like then she came out of it, and she was hysterical, and she like couldn't stop crying because her divorce was going to be final, and like the whole Bufo thing was stupid. But she did talk about her brother and like how he passed, and that was good because like I like the realness of her.
Yeah.
And like the divorce was being final, and she was getting the money. That was a little weird to me. She was like, and I was going to get the money on Friday, and I was like, first of all, don't you have enough money?
Yeah.
Like when I see people have
spiritual awakening, that's a primary thing.
Exactly. So I was like, this is what's wrong with the world. Like you're just happy to get half of Jay's money, and you have 12 businesses. I always think that's
Yeah,
weird
what
when
does Jay even do anymore?
Nothing. Bufo. No, he does his meat. He does something with the meat.
He does?
Yeah.
I love Jay.
I am obsessed with Jay.
Yeah, love Jay.
But like, why are your Bufo experience about your divorce being final and getting the money?
Yeah. Weird.
But when she talks about Montana Boys, I'm into it.
Yeah. So she just posted today. She's talking about it. He wants to have a baby.
They've been dating, first of all, beginning of February, in real time. That's when that happened.
Yeah.
Because she talks about it on her podcast. So beginning of February, 2 months later with the 24-year-old, we're talking about having a baby.
Well, no, he wants to have one in life.
Yeah,
so
of course
she's done because she has 3. Yeah. And so they're talking about like, yeah, so she's telling Justin, her best friend is on the podcast, and she's like, yeah, like, I might have to give him a baby if this is the guy, the one, because he really wants one.
Do you think that that's normal? Would you, well, we know what you think because you didn't want to get your tubes tied. In case Ben and your whole family died, you want to have kids with your new husband.
Yeah, but that's not like I'm leaving Ben to have a new family.
Well, you said if something happens. And the
No,
new guy
I meant
wants
like
a baby.
he died and everyone died.
I know. I don't think that's something I could compromise on. Like, I feel like if I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm someone that knows I'm done.
Yeah.
And I've had everything out. But I couldn't envision raising a kid again for someone else. It's such a big deal.
Yeah, but like my dad, Gary, met Allie, and she never had kids, and he never wanted any more kids. His kids were grown, and then she did, and then
So you think that was a
he
great
did
choice
it for
for them?
her. I don't think marrying someone that much younger is the best choice always, because I just think, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people that make it work.
She's the one that would date a younger guy.
Yeah, but
So if
So
you were
contradictory.
Kristin, would you have a kid for him?
Yes, she would. I know she would. 100%.
I don't ever want to be pregnant again, and my tubes are tied. So for everyone thinking that I didn't get them tied, I did. Crystal.
You would totally. If she got remarried to a younger guy, she would totally have kids for him. 100%. Look at 100%.
You can't even say no.
No, I know she would.
Deflects.
Well, like, it's sad if he wanted to have a kid and you didn't.
I just think you're not the right fit
Yeah.
because I
just
don't think
wanna
that's
ever
something
be
you.
pregnant again. She
Exactly.
might not care about that. I really don't want to be pregnant ever again.
Her kid. She barely wants to be
Yeah.
a mom now. She's out at the clubs with him.
Yeah, it is.
I
a
don't
little
think that's
midlife
a good
crisis.
choice.
It's
There's
giving
good choices,
a midlife crisis.
and
Yeah.
there's bad choices. And having a kid because someone wants you to is a bad choice.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like it can become, for especially people like that, like an accessory. Like your kid becomes the accessory that boosts your fame, like that you're carrying.
Kristin's daughter slapping her butt on a TikTok
was so
one of the
gross.
worst things I've ever seen.
It was so sad.
In knee-high, boots up to here.
If I was Jay and I saw that, I would be
and
going to the
I'm
court
glad you
getting
don't show your
full
kids'
custody.
faces, but you're gonna show your daughter slapping your ass. That's how it looks.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And the TikTok where her butt's in the camera
Yeah.
and it is not, you're not showing your daughter a good use of your body.
No, she's saying that like that they're very serious though on this.
I know, but I'm an outsider. And
Yeah.
like if I was her mom, because people that think they're a big deal, they don't want advice from anyone.
Yeah.
You're not making a smart choice.
No.
You've been dating him 2 months. There's logic and there's
And they're
emotion.
like lust. You're in lust right now.
Oh, he's extremely good looking.
totally.
honeymoon.
Yeah.
They're going out with him and all of his friends.
Yeah.
It's not
like-
real life.
No, it's not like in the trenches with 3 kids and
Just like Kyle
sports
Richards, you're
every day.
dating someone new. You're not thinking straight.
Yeah.
What's most important for you is to stay married to your husband and give those kids stability.
Yeah.
It's not about raising your kids for 18 years. It's about raising your kids for
Yeah.
50. Now you're not going to have great... Mauricio's talking... We talked about this last week's episode about Mauricio and Kyle, and because we're kind of jumping there, but we just talked about it because we did it today. But last week's episode, when we're talking about Mauricio, he's like, I thought we were raising our grandkids together in this
Yeah.
house. And like,
Yeah.
that's all gone because of selfish...
Because you want to fling. Yeah.
No, it drives me nuts.
Well, I think when you're married for a long time, it gets, which I have a really good point. It gets mundane, and you're
It is
not
mundane.
Yeah, but like there's also beauty in that mundaneness and like that comfortableness, and and it's like it's not that like butterflies when you see them, but it's like something so much deeper and better.
Like your parents.
Yeah, and like
It's not butterflies when I see my parents, but
No.
it's security and love.
Yeah, and then I think as you grow old, like just having that person is such a better feeling than those butterflies. Like, I think God designs it that way, where the beginning is like all emotion, but then like the later is so much deeper. And like, if you can get to that point, it's like.
What do you mean by deeper?
Like, deeper. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I was talking to someone. I'm not going to say who it is.
Why?
Because they might not want this disclosed. So
What are we, on a Binzer?
yeah. So they were heading down a road of gonna get maybe a divorce,
Oh, okay.
talking divorce. And then something happened that changed the trajectory, like a health issue. And then that got put on the back burner because they were like, I mean, in
Perspective.
in January, not even that. It was like in January they were talking about divorce, and then let's say in March, a couple months later, they got a
Diagnosis.
trajectory changed. So then the focus became on that, and then through that they got closer, and now they're like better than ever and like so deeply connected. And we were talking, and what happened is, it was like they found their way back to each other. And she and I were talking the other day, and she was like, yeah, you know, like it started with like our jobs. We were both working separate like
Hours.
schedules.
Yeah.
We never saw each other, separate days off. She goes, I had a Facebook memory pop up that was like, first day off together in a month. And like, she's like, we never saw each other. Then like someone got separate interests, like maybe working out at a gym.
I think that's very common.
Yes. So then you're at a new place, then you get separate friends. So now it's like becomes so separate.
Separate lives.
Separate lives. And it truly became like separate things that they enjoyed doing. It became so separate that they thought that they weren't meant to be together. And then now it's like 180 degrees, like so close because he's not working, gone. So they're together so much more now.
Well, and life's perspective has been
Right. And they're together. And like, that's the main thing is like the connection. And like, I think it's so important to make an effort. You can't be separate, you know? And if you do, what do you think is going to happen?
That's
you know?
Kyle and Mauricio.
Yeah.
But I think too, it's easy when you're living separate lives, I think you get more independent and
Yeah.
you don't depend on each other as much. And then when something like that happens, in that they probably became dependent on each other.
Yeah.
Like needed each other to
Yes.
survive.
Yeah.
And then you like,
Right.
I think even with childbirth, now that all these celebrities are using surrogacy just because they don't want to ruin their bodies, I think that that's so scary because I think when you're pregnant, it's not about you. Like your beauty does go second nature, your comfort zones, your
Yeah.
sleep habits, your stretch marks. Like it's not about you. I think God designs that for a way. Even when we take away the epidural, I think the pain that you go through is in sacrifice. And like, I think it's all designed a certain way to like bond you. And like, I worked so hard for you. I went through so much for you. There's like a bond with that. And then like breastfeeding, I think you're supposed to be with your baby as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know, so like every 3 hours you have to be with your baby to feed them.
Right.
It like keeps your body
Focus. The
with
time.
your baby.
It's like time.
Your
Yeah.
kid sleeps all day so that you're home and you're sleeping, not running
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Like I think all those things are naturally designed a certain way.
Yeah.
That it's scary now that we're just choosing to. If you can't have a kid, surrogacy is beautiful. Yeah. It's such a gift that you get to
Yeah.
have someone help you have a kid. But I think that we're kind of like losing some of those things.
Yeah.
You know, and not society's different. Like sometimes two parents have to work to pay the bills. Like sometimes now, you know, Kyle and I, we used to live on one income. And we had a very more simple life because our bills were more circulated around one income. And what happens, like even with...
The more you make, the more you spend.
Yeah, and like even with our job now, I try to still live on... My goal is always to live on a lesser income so that if business isn't as good, I can still make it. Like our bills are still around that, but sometimes like my spending at work isn't, you know, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they need a car, you know, or like, we'll
Your
just
nails
buy them
look
that.
so good.
Yeah, we switched it up. So I think that we all like live on two incomes. So once we start working, I've kind of created this problem where now I have to work. because we're kind of dependent on a certain amount of money every month to kind of help.
Yeah, lifestyle.
Yes.
Adjust.
And it's like sometimes I get jealous of like the stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
Because I miss that life.
Yeah.
Like the simple life of, not that it's not hard. It was very hard. But like my only worry was my kids and my husband, not all these other people and their finances and their houses and their benzers. And like I miss the purity of my mind being so focused on my family.
Yeah.
And I do believe that's how God designs it. I just think it's really hard.
Yeah.
So it's so much guilt with all that, but I don't know. I just think we're supposed to be like that. So I think that's why a divorced family is so hard. I was watching, again, me and my shows. I stayed home yesterday because I needed a day. So I like really tried to just be home for the whole day, get the laundry done. I haven't done that in a few weeks. And like make dinner. I like all that stuff. That like is my happy place, being home for a day. And I felt so spinning out of control lately with running to the hospital every free chance, being busy at work, going out of town for cheer every weekend. Like the last 3 months have been a whirlwind. I feel like since the funeral of my dad, I don't even remember a minute. And last week I was literally spinning out of control where it was like, if I don't get control of this ship, like it's going to blow. Like I feel like I usually put on a pretty good face. The face is gone right now. And I think there's something beautiful in that. Like, I don't know. I think you like feel people when you're not at your best. And I think like someone asked me about my dad because I did a post about my dad. Yesterday with Easter, I did like, it wasn't the best Easter. It's okay. I'm so sick of everyone posting just the good. Like I like to post things for memories. So I like to have like Easter pictures or competition pictures because it's an easy place to go. But I couldn't do like, happy Easter everyone. It wasn't. That would be fake. Yeah. It was like a day to get through. Like we got through. We didn't laugh so much. We didn't it wasn't that. It was a really hard day. So I posted it. But what I hate about doing that is sometimes I feel weird when people are like, so sweet, but like, how can I pray for you? I'm like, oh, I'm okay. Hard day. Like, it's just hard. But like a good friend of mine reached out and I love him. And he was like, da-da-da. I know it's hard. And I was like, but it's so beautiful that I love someone so much that it's so hard to go on without them. Yeah. Like, that's to me nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah. Like, I shouldn't go on so well without someone so important. That would make sense. But I feel like grief is this weird thing that like, how long are you supposed to still be sad? Why is it still so hard? Why some days am I so sick to my stomach? But he's my dad. Like, it's such a natural thing, but it's so unnatural all in the same. Like, your parents aren't going to be here forever. And because it's like my dad, like everybody's parents die. So there's like this, why is it so hard? I feel that. Like, it just still is, and then watching my aunt knock on death's doorstep the last couple weeks, it's so much for me. Like, I lived in a very great family, and seeing my great family be so shooken up is shaking me to my core. But again, I think it's beautiful because I have been so lucky to have these key people in my life that are so important to me. But I feel like in society, we're always supposed to be okay. Like, it's hard, chuck on, but you're not always supposed to chuck on because there's growth in the non-chuck. There's growth in this. Work is not so important to me right now. And I am going to do my best to sell your house, but if it doesn't sell in a day, that's okay. And there's growth in that because sometimes we put that on a pedestal and right now it's not the pedestal, But anyways, when I posted it, it was just super weird because I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be consistent. What I really feel is what I show, Yeah.
And I think it's important to show that because it gives people permission who aren't there yet.
Yeah. It's hard. This has been hard.
Yeah.
This is one of the harder times I've ever had in my life. I'm in it. I'm you're in it. But I was home yesterday and then I watched the show. This is the whole point. But I was home and it's so crazy how one good day of saying no to things literally fills your cup up so much. And how easy it is to get back on track.
Yeah.
I should have done this weeks ago. And I would have felt so much better. Yeah. I just had to say no to everything. And I was I need a day. And so I'm going to try to schedule that in on my calendar. And with our job, luckily I'm able to. Some people can't.
Yeah.
I've thought about people with an 8 to 5 every day. Because that first month after my dad passed, I couldn't even think straight. I'm still making mistakes. And I'm oh my gosh, a doctor, he has to go do surgery after grief. How does he do that? My cousin's working in the hospital with my aunt all day, meeting with doctors and working the whole time. I'm how do you do that? I'm missing a missed call.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm messing up. And I don't feel like I mess up that much at work. But right now I'm missing calls or I'm doing little things because my head's just in the clouds. I don't know how people do it. I really respect you.
I thought about that with lawyers too. Where
Yeah.
You always have to be like on
Yeah.
top of, like,
Or the president.
Yeah.
Like, well,
ish.
yeah. Sometimes he's all there. This one might not be there. I don't think that's a Republican or Democrat. I think that's just an observation. The guy's not all there.
He's just older.
Yeah.
He's a little older.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I was watching this show because I was home and I don't have much. And it was by Reese Witherspoon. It's this Love in Fairfield or something. It's on Hulu. It's like something I've never heard about.
I know. How do you find these shows?
Because I am like, I sick of the,
Debunking.
I get sick of the like murder, kill. It's like a lot of adrenaline and I don't want to watch that all the time.
Yeah.
I want like happiness.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of shows like that
Yeah.
anymore. So it was like, I'll try this. But
Yeah.
in the show, what was my point to this? This couple that died, they were together 80 years. I think I was talking about that. And they're like trying to find love after someone passes. And this girl's trying to find love. There was a show. There was a
Talking about,
point.
like grief and like how the timeline.
Yeah.
Was it when I was talking about the almost divorce? Because I feel like it went into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this couple,
You know?
got married. I don't think it was it, but this will go with it.
Yeah.
And I can act like I remembered. This couple was married young and had a baby, and he was a pastor to church. And then they like got away from each other. He like did something wrong with money, and then they got divorced. And she went and dated, and like she made her appreciate how good her family was. And so like they got back together. It was so cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then this lady was with her husband for 50 years. And he died, and she's like having such a hard time going on.
Yeah.
Because she's like, that love was such a miracle.
Yeah.
Like it was such a good love. And then it's these younger girls dating, and I can see them making the wrong choice. You know, like they always want the guy that's like hard to get. And
Yeah.
there's like these good guys that love her and are showing up every day, and she's still trying to choose this other guy. And I'm like, that's why you're not happy.
Yeah.
You're choosing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But I was like bawling about the love. Like you're not supposed to be able to go on without the
Yeah.
person.
And what a blessing and privilege
Ah.
it is to have that, like to be able to
Yeah.
experience that.
But it's like what's really important in life. Have you ever seen that thing where if 10 years ago you saw where you were now, you would have been so happy. But now that we're here, we're still chasing. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like in my 20s, drunk at the bar, I would have been thrilled to know that this is how things turned out.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want anything more. I
Yeah.
just wanted a husband so bad. I mean, we all did. We're like, you? Is it you?
Yeah. He's
Remember?
all, I'm just mopping the floor, you know? I'm all,
Remember?
so maybe it's this one. Maybe.
You're so hot. It's awesome. I texted a guy that once. It wasn't my strongest thing. That's why I don't like drinking. I was like a freshman in college that didn't drink and that was at all the parties, dancing on the tables, and I was sober. And it's funny because guys really liked me then. Like all the different years had their own like lesson. Freshman year, I was on cheer and I was like running to lifting, and I was like very disciplined. And I didn't drink. I was very confident. And I had a boyfriend. I swear, when you have a boyfriend, they all want you.
Yeah.
You know, because they can't have you. Yeah. And they'd be like, "You were wasted last night." I'm like, "I don't drink." And I think guys, for you young girls dating, they really liked that. Like,
Yeah.
they don't want the drunk girl that cusses at the bar.
No.
They do not want that. They want the girl that's different.
Yeah.
That doesn't let them do whatever they want. That
Yeah.
has a voice. So they all wanted me. So I was like, and then I was more like sassy to my boyfriend because I was like, I have so many backups. Like if you don't act right, you're
Yeah.
done. You know, it kept me on
Line it
my
up.
yeah, it kept me on my A game. Like I had all these guys. I didn't drink. I was fit. I was like the package. Then I blew out my knee in college in the summer. I was teaching cheer camps, and I like am a personality. So I feel like God puts you through these things to like teach you things. So I was down for a year. Like I had 3 knee surgeries. I was in college in my dorm room with the shower chair. Did I ever tell you guys about my roommate that would throw the shower chair?
No.
So when you blow out your knee a certain way, you can't have weight on it for 6 weeks. When you blow your meniscus, and you have to do a meniscal repair. So you can't put weight on it. So being in the snow, my mom didn't give me a car up there, or dad, but let's be real, it's my mom. My mom and dad wouldn't let me have a car up there, so I'd crutch in the snow to class, sliding in the ice, like it was awful. So Jessica Garcia, who's our friend, she does listen sometimes, she would drive me in her car and drop me off at class, like she was my friend. And then I'd have to go to physical therapy, but I didn't have a car. So my mom would hire this cab company with like Uncle Buck, you know, the guy with the cigarette. He'd pull up to my sorority fraternity dorm. He'd be like, for Crystal, and it's all, you know, like when the cigarette does this, you know, because it just sits in their mouth. The thing smelled like smoke. It was disgusting. I'm like, this guy's gonna rape me down the street. So I'm in the cab going to therapy with my knee, with no one there. But I would have to, I'd have a shower chair. The first week you're really like bedridden. And my aunt actually would drive up to Flag and stayed with me for a week in my dorm room.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, my mom had to work. And and so my aunt like slept with me on the air mattress in my dorm with my roommate. I mean, poor roommate, you know, she's just trying to be
like, what?
But my mom made me do it up there, the surgery. Well, actually the NAU trainers, because I was an athlete, they got me in with because the doctors down in Phoenix said my knee was fine. I couldn't straighten it, and it was this big. So he got me in for an MRI. I didn't tell you guys this story.
No.
I was dating
some of the new stuff, but
yeah, I was dating Cruz, who was my boyfriend here, for a few years, and it was long distance. So I got a $700 cell phone bill from talking to Cruz. He lived in Phoenix and I was in Flag. So my dad called me that day on the NAU dorm phone and was like, what is wrong with you? $700. I can't. And I was like, oh, I like didn't disappoint my
It's
parents.
back when you had minutes, you know?
Yeah. And I did not disappoint my parents. I always did what I was told. So I was like, oh God, I was like crying. And I was like, Dad, hold on, I have another call. I click over, it's the doctor's office. They're like, you tore your MCL, ACL, and meniscus. And I was like, oh my God, you have to have surgery. I was like so scared. So I click back over, Dad, I have to have surgery. I tore my ACL. He's like, okay, honey, we'll plan the surgery. Never heard about the cell phone bill again.
Oh, that was nice.
It was
huh?
amazing.
Yeah.
But so having that, I like lost my confidence because I laid around in a dorm room and ate. Like, it was so hard to not be the it girl and like be social and like be planning and be at NAU with people. All my best friends didn't really come back that year besides Jen. And like Jen
Jen left that year.
No, it was sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
Jen was at the apartments with Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
And Joanna. And so Jen would take me to her dorm and I had this big CPM machine she'd put in the car in the snow and bring it up the stairs. They took care of me. But when I was getting better, I started drinking. Because I had like laid there for so long. I lost all my friends. My boyfriend was done with me because I'd call him crying every day. Like, this is so hard, you know? And he's like, okay, like, you know, it wasn't like going good. So we broke up. So when we broke up and I didn't know who I was, I like started drinking to fit in with everyone. Because that's what happens.
And to fill time.
Yeah, like somebody, you go through something, you don't feel like yourself and you try to fill a void.
Yeah.
But I lost myself so bad in that because I wasn't the girl that didn't drink anymore. I wasn't the strong Christian that people always admired.
Yeah.
I was just like everyone else. And that was worse than anything. Like, so then you just drink more. Like, and then I would be the girl in the bar, but falling off the bar. So dating then wasn't my best. Like,
Yeah.
I put up with way more, made bad choices,
Yeah.
kissed too many guys. I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't drinking. Like, most of my bad choices happened because I was drinking.
Oh, all of them.
So that continued for like a year or so. So then I met a guy at a bar and he didn't like want to hang out. So I thought I should text him, you're so hot, it's awesome. And the next day when I woke up.
He was scared. We're all, girls, if he's scared, he just doesn't like you. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's sad is we told each other these stupid things.
Yeah.
So I thought I should really put myself out there. Wrong. So he never called me again. But don't do it, girls. But that's why Sex in the City really was like so
Yeah.
good for us back then. Because they would teach you things, which sounds stupid, but you did learn.
Yeah.
You learned to go after the hairy
Yeah.
and not the big. And like, what's sad about our generation is there isn't shows with a lesson.
No. Now
Like-
it's like Vanderpump where they're all.
And
You
even
know?
like Fox, like when my kids were Fox's age, they were still watching Disney.
Yeah.
And there was like Sophia the First and like Paw
Yeah.
Patrol, be a good friend and help others. They were secretly teaching them things, whereas YouTube, it's not teaching anybody
No.
anything. You know, like it's
They're all
sad.
on Outer Banks right now.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's like
Yeah.
Kennedy's favorite show, and now Hudson's because, but like there's no lesson.
There's no lesson in it,
It's
yeah.
sad. Like Sex and the City, every
And the
episode.
girl, I'm like, she's whacked leaving her parents.
know.
The one girl, I can't think of her name, but I'm like, but it's like glorified. I'm
Yes.
like, this is like whack.
Sad.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
She's all, how come I can't run with these guys everywhere and not go to school and chase treasure? Like, hello, you know?
Lots
I
of
haven't watched
reasons.
it.
Oh,
I watched the first season,
Yeah.
but then that's it.
but yeah.
That's what's scary is our kids are learning and like it's hard because I see my kids probably an hour a day with like sports.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's hard.
So I make their breakfast. And then I
that's
see them
great.
at dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
Through senior year in high school, my dad made my breakfast.
Really?
And packed my lunch.
Yeah.
That's cute. And you're very
And
responsible.
you're very capable, yeah. I think it's like Ben makes my coffee. I'm capable, but it's like a love.
It is a love. Like it's his.
I don't know how capable you are. You go to Well now.
No, what? Oh, Saturday he had an early
Game.
game, and so he like put the espresso into the, because it's hard to like maneuver it, and I'm not the strongest. So like he put it in there. So he literally called me. He's like, all you have to do is push a button and then steam the milk. And I'm like,
Steam the milk.
I know.
Get out of here.
I know. I was like, oh, but I did it. So I can do it.
Yeah.
But it's nice when someone takes care of you. It does make you feel loved. I always wanted that growing up.
Did you?
Yeah, always.
So
no
that's
one
funny.
ever made my lunch. I don't think I ever had my lunch made, like, not
Me
once.
either. It was such a thing for me. Because the kids that had a packed
They'd have
lunch.
a note. I'm all the note.
Do you
know?
do a note?
No.
I don't do a note either, but Broxton asks for one sometimes.
Oh, really?
I'm going to do a note this
You
week.
have to do the surprise note to where it's like they're not expecting. It's
Yeah, kids had notes. I never had a note.
I never had a note either. I had the pizza with the brownie. The brownie was so good. But I was like the kid, like, you got any extra money for some chips? You know? It was so bad. Oh, it was so bad. So it was funny. We went to register at Liberty the other day, and the counselor was like, actually, probably like 60% of kids still bring their lunch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, in high school, nobody brought their lunch.
Yeah.
Like, no.
CJ doesn't. I baked him. I made him his lunch like the first 2 days, and then he's all, no, I'm good. I want to buy.
Yeah, like I never, like, but it wasn't a thing in high
Ken
school.
will be bringing hers. She still brings hers now. She'll never not bring hers.
Oh, my kids all bring their lunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Bear buys.
All bring their lunch. It's so, but I always wanted someone to pack my lunch. It was so stupid. Those
Yeah.
little things.
Yeah.
But what did bug me, did we talk about that this week or last week about making the kids lunch? I think it was last week. So, but when I've been at the hospital lately, it's like our pets' heads are falling off at my house. Like they get home at 4, and we talked about the dinner. Somebody else, Sherry's episode, Sherry Beltrama was on. She did an episode, and a lot of people really liked it.
Oh, so many people told me how good it was.
So someone was talking to me about how we talked about what people's dinner is. It was Kara, my sister-in-law. She was like, that was so good because I always feel guilty we don't have a family dinner.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's good to know it's not what you think it is,
Yeah.
you know? And I am going to try, though, because we all eat at 4, but we do eat, like, all over. And they're on their phones a little because they're just, it's that hour. They get home from school and they go to cheer. I want them to have a minute, you know?
Like a decompress moment.
Yeah, but I still should, you know, we all do the shoulds. But, so last week when I was at the hospital, they get home at 4, and I had my phone blow up. What's for dinner? Where's dinner? Why isn't dinner ready? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like feeling bad, but I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like 50 things in the freezer. Because I do one dinner, they have to do a second dinner. So like I cook at 4 for everybody, and when they get home from sports, sometimes they're hungry.
Yeah, like
that's
8.
on them. You can heat up whatever. It's not the healthiest. Like you can heat up chicken. You can do bagel dogs. My parents did bagel dogs. Those bagel bites. You're on your own. I'm not cooking again, so if you're hungry, make something. But I was feeling so bad that dinner wasn't there while I'm in the hospital. And then it was like, they're not idiots. That was where I was annoyed.
Yeah.
They can put together a mac and cheese. And no, mom's at the hospital right now.
Yeah.
Let's be self-sufficient.
Sometimes there's like a little bit of a lack of awareness for my kids of like, hey, I'm like, when I'm like on my deathbed yesterday and they're all, hey, can I get an electric scooter? I'm like, what? Like, you know, they're just like a little bit like, no, we need to realize mom's doing something or struggling and pick up the slack, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what you're worried about. You don't want to enable them to where they don't understand that.
Yeah, and they are not self-aware. They ask for things way too much. I'm getting really sick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every day.
Where we don't have a chore chart anymore. So we used to have a chore chart. That was my mom's thing. We had like the whole wheel. It would rotate. It was like robust.
She's such a teacher.
Yeah. I'm all, that is like a lot.
It was a lot.
I can't even
But
imagine.
It ran very efficiently.
Yeah.
So I was like doing something similar with my kids, but I was starting to get frustrated because they would come to me and be like, what do you want me to do next? Or how do you want me to do it? Like they wanted very specific instructions.
Yeah.
So now it's like, no, you just have to notice and do. What do you see that needs to be done?
Yeah, I like
You
that.
have to do it.
Yeah, I like that. Well, that's how we
It
as
takes
parents
on the
are.
mental load.
Yeah. Well, because Ben is the same way. Like, he got so mad because the kids would walk by the dog bowl to the pantry. It's, like, literally right next to the pantry. You walk by it 50 times a day. And he's like, no one notices that the dog bowl's empty. Yeah. And it's like, Ben's very big on, like, the noticing. If the trash is full, take it out. If you notice that, you know, the laundry's getting full, start a load. Like, he's very big on that.
Yeah. It's working so far, but it's not.
They're doing it? Because they're probably thrilled to not have a chore chart. They don't want to go back.
They don't want to go back,
Yeah.
and they lose privileges when things aren't done. It's
Yeah.
like I just don't say a word. All of a sudden
That's what
sorry.
Yeah.
I know.
that's the bet. That's what Kevin Lehman and Dr. Laura both say is don't warn, do. Yeah. So one day, Kyle, we talk about this, both of our husbands like to, I think it's a man thing, like to really yell at them about what they did wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that sometimes, but let's just do something.
Yeah.
So I
was
was
like,
busy.
in the pool bed.
And Kyle's like, we want them to make their bed because they are getting a little lazy with their rooms. It's a little out of control. So he's like, I want them to make their bed. And I do agree that you start your day off with a made bed. I think we talked about it. I was like, we'll try this. So I said to make your bed before school. So they didn't. So we did. I made them one day, and then the next day I bring it up. I said, if your beds aren't made, something's happening. So we got home, took their electronics for the day. Didn't say a word. I said, no, you guys didn't make your bed, so your electronics are gone. Seriously, Hudson's never not made her bed since. It was never a fight.
Yeah.
It's like common sense. Like, I don't want to lose my electronic.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we make it too complicated. Mm-hmm. If there's always a consequence, because that's like Freud. Right? Like in psychology, did you guys take that? You probably didn't go to the class, but yeah, she took it. I'm pretty sure you took sociology or psychology.
Yeah.
But it's like a habit, reward, habit, consequence.
Right.
That's how our brain remembers things.
Pavlov's dog.
Yes! I was going to be that's what I wanted to be.
Same.
My whole life. But then I was taking the classes, and I know, I kind of still do too. Natalie did it. My friend Natalie, she got her PhD. But yeah, and sometimes we make it too complicated. Like, just this equals that. This equals that. Because
we don't give them the space to
mess up.
I want the kitchen clean. You clean it. I'm not going to tell you step by step what needs to be done.
Oh, that's so hard, isn't it?
It's so hard.
Because you're like,
a very particular.
Yes.
Well, and my kids are different. So Ken is very good at knowing, and then CJ is very oblivious. And he's like, what do I do? Like, he wants you to tell him. And I do. But it's bad because I'm like, and I'm not empowering you to recognize.
Critical think
the
too.
Critical thinking is very, we got to work on that.
Roxton's like that a little too.
My sister came in town and stayed with us for a week, and she was like, yeah, I noticed CJ, she said the same thing, and she was like I'll ask him questions that promote thinking. Yeah. And he'll be like, I don't know. And then he'll think about it. And then, but it's so hard because sometimes I'm in such a
rush.
And I just want to get things done that I'm like, I don't have time, so I'll just tell you what to do, But you're right. We got to promote the critical thinking.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah.
I know. Yesterday, just not rushing all day too. It's so different, your mindset. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
How much we rush into everything from thing to thing. My brain is literally going all day. All the things that I'm not doing.
I can't even keep up with
yeah,
my brain.
It's really bad. I don't know what to do about it.
I don't either.
Yeah, let me know if you figure it out. Because I think our kids are too. Maddie, she carries a busy schedule. But I don't want to do what we were just talking about last week. It's getting funny the last week. But, I don't want to always have to battle because, I don't want her to, always have to be so busy because we've kept her so busy. Yeah. So, one of my favorite things about Bonnie, my mother-in-law, is that she's very present. I say so much, but she's a great mom. She's very disciplined, but her life is not chaotic whatsoever. She's always available if we need some help with the kids, if we need anything. Bonnie is always available.
She's not laying around at all.
Never laying around. But she doesn't fill her schedule where she's spinning. She's never short. She's always so how are you? And I'm very short with her probably. But I think it's so cool. Her and Lance, they also don't have this need to be something bigger than they are, but they have everything they need.
They're very content.
They're very content.
Yeah.
And very happy. Very just calm. And she ran her kids busy, but not so busy. Where they're all kind of balanced too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm the one in the family that's way out of balance from everybody. It's what the heck are they always doing? But I also have the oldest kids too. So I do think what's happened with my in-laws is I always got in trouble because we're the oldest married couple for things that now no one gets in trouble for. But we were first.
Yeah, you paved the way.
Yes. So I feel like I am doing that still.
But
now
that even happens with our own kids. Things that our oldest got in trouble for, now the third can do, or the fourth can do. And it's no big deal.
Fox.
Yeah.
I'm who are you again? What's your
name? And it's
that's
just
so
normal.
true. It is just the normal progression. My brother wasn't allowed to drive to school. That was such a fun thing when we were younger. You got to drive to lunch.
Oh, yeah.
It was so unsafe though. We'd sprint to the cars, pile in.
Because you had 30 minutes to
yeah, it
go
wasn't
get
long
lunch.
enough.
No.
But it was so fun just to get off campus for an hour.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
It felt so like freeing.
Yeah.
I was an adult.
They
And
don't do that anymore, huh?
No, all campuses are closed. But my brother wasn't allowed to drive to school or go off campus for lunch, which was so dorky. Like the fact that he had to sit as a junior and eat lunch at the school.
Nerd.
Yeah.
He didn't talk to my parents for like 3 months.
That would have been.
And I agreed with him. Like, so guess who got to drive to lunch?
You.
I wasn't allowed to drive my car to school. It's kind of funny now, but maybe my parents like put this on me. But like, I was allowed to get a ride to school with my friends. Justin wasn't. He wasn't allowed to drive to school, and he maybe didn't have as many friends. He's more.
Yeah.
But like, my parents had to take him to school, and he wasn't allowed to go off campus. I was allowed to get a ride with my friends to school. I just wasn't allowed to drive. So it's like maybe they just didn't trust my driving, which probably makes sense.
I'm all.
But maybe because they always told me I was a bad driver, I became a bad driver, you know? So, yeah, like, because they always treated me like, well, you can't drive, but you can ride.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, like, you can ride with 30 girls in a car. That's fine. If you go down, at least we're not getting sued.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so, and I was allowed to ride with people at lunch, but I wasn't allowed to drive at lunch. So, but my poor brother. Like,
Yeah.
It's really dorky to not go off campus.
It's crazy that they can't do that now. I remember when we were on campus in high school, they were like, yeah, that used to be the smoke hole. People used to go and smoke cigarettes in high school, and it was allowed. I'm like, what? Like,
I know, but it is
it's weird
like,
how things change. You
yeah,
know?
we treat kids like so much younger though. Like, we were treated as adults way younger.
I had a full-time job as a 16-year-old.
Me too.
So did I, yeah.
I worked and I gave my parents my paycheck, and I know so many 16-year-olds that don't have jobs.
Yeah.
You know, and
Even 17, 18. If they're in sports, yeah.
yeah, and I was in sports, but my mom didn't care.
Yeah.
She was like, "You're gonna help
We
me for all
weren't even
this."
allowed to have a job, and we still had them.
Yeah, I mean we're at Sonic, but still we made
I
good money.
started at 15 at Baskin Robbins. I lied on my thing.
Yeah, we all worked.
Yeah.
You know,
15 too.
and like going off campus for lunch. Can you imagine your kids going off campus for lunch? But we were allowed to do all those things. There was way more like responsibility. It was the best part of the day. But anyways,
Yeah.
my times have changed. But at the sunrise service this Sunday,
I'm so bummed I missed.
it was good. Travis I love Travis. And he said, so many people are so disheartened about this next generation. And he's like, I am on fire. They're such good kids. And I kind of agree. Like, working with the girls I work with, they're good kids.
Yeah.
I wasn't as good.
Well, just even having all the girls over on Saturday, they're just sweet
Good
girls.
kids.
Yeah.
It is the thing because we're always like, so sorry.
Even
I
the
just
older
did that
ones,
50 times.
Even the older ones in high school that came, they were sweet. I'm like,
They're
they're at
good
a
kids.
13-year-old's birthday on a Saturday night. I was talking, I'm like, you guys doing anything after this? And they're like, no. Like, it's cute. You
They're
know?
good kids.
Yeah.
This next generation is such a good group of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my brother spent a week with the kids over the summer last year, and he was like, my takeaway was, these kids are awesome. Like,
Yeah.
they're accepting, they're loving, they're supportive of one another. Everyone kind of has their group. No one seems to be excluded in the same way it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I feel like that at Liberty. It's so different.
Yeah.
And there's a light entitlement for sure. But if that's the worst thing,
Yeah.
it's not that bad. And that's something that's kind of cool that has come from this LGBTQ thing, is that we are teaching more empathy and more like accept people that aren't like you. You know, and I do think that's of God. You know, we have to be, as Christians, people that love everyone, even when we don't understand them. And I think in the old school society, it was more like the jocks, the this, the that. I don't think that's like as prominent anymore. You can be accepted by being anything. Just be doing something.
Yeah.
Or be passionate about something. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
You know, it doesn't have to be the cool crew. It could be anything.
Yeah.
that's cool.
So, Teisha, start being accepting of OnlyFans.
No. Peanut butter and no.
I do think this one of the secrets to our friendship, though, that I wish all people had and that I'm thankful for is that you will tell me and I will tell you, even when it's awkward, you know, we'll have hard conversations.
Yeah.
And I think that's a gift. Like, even with parenting, you know, sometimes I'm not going to see it right because I'm so close to my kids.
Yeah.
And I do think maybe you're nervous to this, and I encourage it more. Like, help me see what I cannot see because I want to be hard on them or I want to see it the right way. I don't want to be manipulated by my kids.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to be.
Yeah.
It's so easy because you see the good in them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I want you to always tell me that. Like, I think you'll tell me that with other things, but maybe you're scared to with my kids, but I would like you to. You scared?
No.
You scared?
No.
Why'd you start laughing?
No, I couldn't.
So I've been meaning to talk to you.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's coming out.
I have this saved on my notes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have like anything I can think of. So
That's such a lie. Do you see your
my
face?
God.
What are you laughing about?
No,
There's something in your
this
head.
is so awkward.
Because there's
No.
something in your head, you can't fake
No,
it.
there's nothing in
Say
my
it.
head.
Let's say it
no,
now.
there's nothing in my head.
This is a good example of how to be honest.
In her crib.
No, she will say I'm harder on Maddie probably than the others. Yeah, there's 30 things you're thinking of. Just say one
I
of
don't
them.
think you're harder on Maddie. I don't think you are. Actually,
I'm
I think
easier on
you've
Maddie?
gotten better. No, I think you've gotten better. I think you used to be harder on her. I think you've gotten more.
Consistent?
No, like more. It's more equal now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a great mom. I'm leaving my kids to her, so clearly.
No, but it's hard, right? Like you
Yeah.
get sucked in
Yeah.
and you don't know.
Yeah.
But you have to believe in him enough and speak truth into him enough that I know you're good and I know you kind of have to fake it. Like I know you're never going to go that way.
Yeah.
So I have confidence in you that you're going to choose the right path and the right
Right.
decisions and choose the right group.
Standard.
Yes.
Yes.
Expectation is so crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Kids, when they know that you believe in them, and then they believe in themselves.
Yes.
When they, like, sending a message that I don't trust you, I don't believe in you, I don't have faith in you that you're going to do, it's like, that's almost more.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if my own mom...
Who they are.
because
Right,
you're
if my-
worried about it.
If
It's
my
not-
own mom doesn't believe that I can do good, then I can't.
Or if
you
you're like,
know?
I'm worried you're with the wrong crowd, he's all of a sudden, I'm with the wrong crowd. Like, it's crazy how much.
Yeah.
The Paris book. In the Paris book, they always called her Star. She literally morphed into a star because they always said she was a star.
Yeah.
Like, we don't realize those little things. You're not even knowing you're doing it. But when you're saying, I'm worried no one's coming to your party, all they're worrying about is no one coming to their party.
Back to
I'm
the
worried
party.
you're hanging with the wrong group. All they're hearing is hanging with the wrong group.
Right.
So you got to say, I know you're always going to choose the right. I'm not worried about you. Fake it. And like they pull it up. They're like, oh yeah, I'm never going to make the wrong choice because I know who I am. There was like a podcast I was listening to about our inner voices, and that's like so
Yeah.
important.
Huge.
So it's not, as parents, sometimes it's okay to let them go there right now because you'd rather them now than later. And now those mistakes aren't going to be as big. And then he's going to grow from this, and then he's going to go that way. But you have to believe that he will go that way.
Yeah.
He will find himself. But if you escape it, it might come up again sophomore or junior year, and he didn't learn the coping mechanisms needed to step away from the group.
And then he has all the bitterness towards us for making this big change.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then he doesn't feel like he can come to us or trust
Yeah.
us or.
And
feels
as he's
superior.
telling you it, just I know you're going to choose the right friends. I know you're going to choose the right group. And, you just got to analyze, is this who you want to be? Because I know who you are. You got to breathe. That's what I mean, though. These conversations are so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Because when you're in it, the fear takes over
Totally.
of letting him make the wrong choice, letting him da-da-da.
Yeah.
And like, no, I think he's going to be good. I think this is all part of the plan. I think he's got to find who he doesn't want to be so he can become who he really wants to be.
Yeah.
Like, she hung with really bad people in junior high.
Totally.
A lot of my good
Yeah,
friends did.
We like
The
stole a
thug.
bra from the mall, like went into like the store, put it on under our clothes and left.
Yeah.
Like totally stupid things. And it's not that I was hanging with the wrong people. I think we were all lost.
Yeah,
And
it's a
making
very
dumb
junior high
choices.
thing.
Because they're all great now, and I'm.
Oh, it was like a thug. Like,
Yeah.
she's like the sweetest
I
thing
think
ever.
junior high is a very weird.
I was
age.
weird too.
You're
I was a
very-
thug 7th grade.
Yeah, so
I'm
was
not
I.
thug.
I was wearing my socks
Me
up to
too.
here.
Like Jenko jeans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like the
think
harder
you're-
the better.
I think middle school is hard. You're just trying to figure out like who you are and what you want to be. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a weird age. It's because I feel like by high school you start getting it figured out, you know? But like I was talking, real quick. So someone who we were talking to, anyways, they were talking about their daughter and she's older now. But she was like so great all through high school, like perfect choices and da-da-da. And then now in college is like smoking weed and doing all these crazy things. Yeah. And again, she'll probably find her way back, but she's got to figure it out for herself. But like for me, I'm rathering it happen like in the younger years when you're under my supervision and my roof than older.
Well, that's what happens with parents is they make those choices for them because it's natural. Then when they have freedom, like the idea that 18 is around the corner, It's crazy.
Yeah.
So they have to learn, and we were talking about this the other day with CJ too. Like you have to let them fail a little so that they fail in your house. So that their first failure isn't when they're on their own and they can't turn it around.
Yeah.
But my parents, even when I had my 1.5, 2 years of drinking, my parents always treated me like I was the same Crystal. We know you're good. We know you know who you are. We know you're a Christian. And I even went through a few months where I didn't even believe in God. My parents did not react. They were like, we know you're good. We know who you are. You know, they didn't say, you're coming home. We've lost it, you know. And me finding who I was on my own, I never really deviated again. Because, like, I dated guys with different beliefs and stuff, but I knew who I was because they told me I did.
Yeah. And the message from them was always consistent.
That's the voice in my head.
Yeah.
My parents are so the voice in my head.
Because I think you always look back to your parents, like, to...
For, like,
reassurance. Affirmation.
And a barometer of where should I be? Like, if they're...
Yeah, and who are they seeing me as? Like, and that's what you see.
I'm telling you, my kids, Broxton was getting B's and C's one year, and I was like, you're a straight A student. I'm like, I don't know if he is. But I wanted to try to, like, speak life. Yeah. And I was like, I expect A's. He's like, why, Mom? I can't. I'm like, you can. And then he got A's, and I was like, what the heck? Yeah. But, like, I raised the bar. Sometimes we're so scared to raise the bar because we don't want him to fail. Like, if I raise the bar, you might not hit it, and then you'll be sad, or maybe you can't. Yeah. But you can. Like, they can. Yeah. They're stronger than we give them credit for.
Totally.
It's scary right now with the Snapchat, like, allowing Maddie to have Snapchat, and I'm probably going to let her have Instagram before high school. I feel like I'm gonna. I need her, again, she's going to be 18 in 4 years. She can have any social media she wants. She'll probably be in college. I do want them out of the house at 18 as much as I don't. I believe in that. I believe it's so important. So I have 4 years to teach her how to use social media correctly, because in 4 more years, she can do whatever she wants. So I think I'm going to let her, but I'm like, oh, but that's why I want to tell her, and this is what I tell her, I know you'll never make a bad choice with that. I know you're going to choose the right way. And I'm like, I'm not sure, but I'm like trying to guide her. Like, we just had a big talk about TikTok when you sing to yourself. I think it looks stupid. Yeah. Like, why am I alone in my room singing to my phone?
Unless you're a Montana boy, then...
I think they look stupid too. Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It really is.
I've watched it more times than I want to admit.
Yeah, because I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, it's weird.
I know.
And they're adorable.
Yeah, they are adorable. But that's what society is teaching them. Yeah. Is to put yourself out there. We were always raised to be humble. You don't boast. But social media is such a boast.
Yeah.
Like, we boast it for business. We were on the top teams this year because it helps us show our worth. But, like, Kyle's very big on being humble. Like, he's very big on, like, don't compliment yourself. Don't do this. Don't do that. You're nobody until somebody, like, you have to come from, you know. Yeah. I don't know. But, like, social media is very, like, I look cute today. I'm going to take a picture.
The pictures by yourself, it's like, what's happening?
I'm telling Maddie, you're never taking a picture by yourself. You look like an idiot.
Yeah.
You're never singing to the camera on TikTok. You look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, those are things we're not going to have. And then, you know, I mean, Kyle's very anti-social media. We'll see what happens. But that's what I think I'm going to I don't know. I think Snapchat's way worse than Instagram, and I kind of bit too far first. Yeah. You know? I didn't realize what came with Snapchat. I didn't realize you saw people's locations. I didn't realize. Yeah. But we're far in now, so I don't know. Then you sent me that thing about the phones ruining our kids, and I'm like, should I take it all away again? That's a constant battle for me.
It's so hard.
But a lot of parents, like, families, Ryan Holtorf, my cousin, I love her kids, and we have a jerky that listens. Reese, I think they're all such good kids, and she was pretty lenient with that stuff. And, like, most of their posts are about God or uplifting things. Like Riley, she could boast herself all day long. She's a ridiculous athlete. Same with Reese. Yeah. They barely Reagan. Yeah. They're all ridiculous athletes.
See, I don't think Maddie would ever post something bad. That's just not her personality. I think more for her.
But again, you're saying it from the outside. As a mom, your fear almost makes you change. That's how I feel with CJ. I think CJ's a ridiculous kid. Yeah. But you're in it, and you're like, but I'm scared I'm getting it wrong.
Yeah, I think the thing I worry about with the kids, and not like Maddie's my kid, but like, and I worry with Maddie, because then once Maddie gets it, then Ken wants it. It's all trickles because they all think they're in one family. Yeah. But it's like the mental health aspect of it. It's not that they're gonna obviously, yes, that they're going to post something, but it's like when you see things, how like the anxiety and the depression, how much
The
like,
dopamine hit from the likes and the comments.
yes,
and the,
like that aspect of how it's affecting them. Not that they're going to put something bad out there.
It's not about bad. They're going to post something and those likes are going to make or break them.
Right.
But
Yeah,
they
it's
also
just-
have to manage this.
Yeah.
Like I have to manage. My mom was a big Facebooker. You'll get her comments on anyone. She probably friended you. I think she goes to my friends and friends everybody.
Yeah.
With my dad not being here, she can't get on there. It's so hard to see everyone happy.
Yeah.
It's so hard to see everybody's
Yeah.
families. And honestly, the last 2 weeks I've barely been on. Again, it's hard. And I think that's something that our kids have to manage.
Yeah. See, I wish I could raise my kids to not want it. Like that would be my dream.
But I don't think
'Cause I don't think it
keeping
makes
it-
them better to have it, you know?
But do you think keeping it away is going to make them not want
No.
it? That's the thing. I agree.
Totally.
Kyle doesn't have anything to do with it. His mom has nothing to do with it.
But I don't know, because maybe it does. Because so Ben growing up, all his friends had video games, and Ben's parents were like, no. He had an old Sega that was sucky, and so he didn't even care. He'd only play video games at his friends. He didn't have the latest and greatest, and he never got obsessed with video games. Like he's like, I had friends that were so obsessed, and they still play as adults, and Ben would never play as a kid, as an adult, a video game. And like we know a lot of grown men that play video games, and like Ben would never. And he's like, yeah, my parents just were like, no. And so like it helped him not having it.
Yeah.
So like he's like, yeah, if I had it, I would have became obsessed. So I don't know.
But you let your kids have video games.
No, I know, but I'm like, is that the wrong thing?
No, because so we're allowed to have video games. This is like both things, like make your bed,
Yeah.
not make your bed. My mom just kept us so busy.
Yeah.
We could never sit and play video games. You're never gonna let
Yeah.
your boys sit and play video games a whole day.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Well, Easter, when I was sick, they kind of played
That's
lot,
a
but
special
yeah.
day. That's a special day. Like
Yeah.
you're allowed to lounge on Easter.
Yeah.
That's the point to that day.
Yeah.
But I know for sure there won't be a weekend. They're both sitting there playing video games all day, and you're not telling them to get outside,
Yeah.
to do a chore. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
It's like training them to do it right.
Yeah.
And more involved parents too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kyle, there's no way. Like if the kids are in the rooms more than 2 hours, get out, get going, let's
Yeah,
go,
that's
get
how
it.
Ben is.
They're not going to lay around all day. They're just not.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a TV growing up, so it was like we had no choice. There were no video games.
Or
Yeah.
do you watch a lot of TV now?
Not really. Like I don't.
It's kind of like the Ben video game thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, we watched a lot of TV, and I still look at me.
It's like take it or leave it for me. Where
Yeah.
I'd rather like listen to a book or.
Because I think you learn life without it. Whereas
Well,
you
coping
don't.
too.
But if you have it, you never learn life without it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's coping. Like for me, when I was growing up and I had a bad day, I would watch a show, and honestly, I would eat. Like, because I was a bigger kid. And honestly, those same coping mechanisms are still here.
Yeah.
Look at me staying up late when I have, and I had some eggs last night, those chocolate eggs, I love them. But like, that's how I relax
Yeah.
because that's what I did as a kid.
Yeah.
So I think that those things are sometimes coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. But if the kids have a bad day, they might want to play video games.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful that,
That's a terrible coping. Yeah.
yeah, or get on your phones. We all don't realize as adults when we're stressed, this is how we're coping.
Yeah.
We get on Instagram, get that dopamine rush. I play those casino games.
Yeah.
We're coping. So I think that's a thing. You didn't cope by watching TV.
Yeah.
You learned to read or do other healthier things.
Yeah.
I coped I watched TV a lot by myself. And that's like how I refresh now.
And the flip side of that for me though is if there's too much background noise, like my mom always drove in a silent car. Like she just was never.
They're like that. They never have the TV on at their house.
Never had the TV on because we didn't have one. But like Mike was the opposite. So TV, he'll like turn the TV on, making breakfast. No one's watching.
Kyle too. It drives me crazy.
Nuts. Like it's like overstimulating.
Me
Like,
too.
Yeah.
I can't cope. So that is like the
Yeah.
opposite side of it where I'm like I can't function
Yeah.
with all this noise, with all this chaos.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I don't. Kyle likes it on in the background. It drives me nuts. I think it's since I lived with you guys, though. I was very calm because they don't have.
Yeah. Ben will put like light soft music on in the morning, like
jazz.
Kind
like
of.
country. But it's like very like it's not loud. It's very low. Yeah. He's different. He has such great habits though. Like I will say, whatever my in-laws did, he has so many healthy habits ingrained in him that it's like crazy.
I do think
That's what I
habits are
wish-
so important. That
I wish
book.
I could get that in all my kids.
Well, I think you are. You don't realize
Yeah,
it. You
yeah.
really are.
Yeah. He's just like He's stretching. I'm like, who stretches? Like, he's just so healthy in every way, mentally, physically.
Wakes up early.
Yeah.
He does all the things.
He's
Drinks his
just-
water.
Yeah, he's just a very healthy-minded person. Yeah.
Habits are important, though. We forget.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right.
Yeah.
That was great. If you're really struggling, please reach out to a qualified professional, because that's not us,
We're just here to share our journey
and to make you laugh
and cry
and pick your nose.
and touch your boobs.